So now that the bubble has burst and the Kansas City Chiefs and the overall conspiracy theory that the NFL wants Kansas City to win. Here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. The NFC East has always been dominant in the Super Bowl, going back to Dallas Cowboys. Eagles have won before. New York Giants, we've been pretty good in the Super Bowl. This was another example. Anybody looking at the numbers, the Eagles had a very strong offense going into the regular season. It showed in the playoffs, and it showed what they did against Washington in the NFC title game, another NFC East opponent. Now, Kansas City, I don't think they took the Eagles seriously. Everybody was saying, they're going to win 3 straight Super Bowls, have this dynasty that's better than the Steelers and the Cowboys and the Patriots. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, that's another thing altogether. He's not the first celebrity to date another celebrity, but Patrick Mahomes has no running game in this contest. That's why they lost. If you look at the rough numbers, and Philadelphia scoring more than 40 points against a Kansas City team that's pretty well been dominant on defense for the last number of games in a regular season. Eagles really took them apart. But the rough numbers tell me this. As of the last minutes of the fourth quarter, okay, they only had 27 yards in rushing. You can't win a Super Bowl with 27 yards in rushing. Throw to 2 Patrick Mahomes interceptions. Now, for example, Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco, again, only 6 carries in the contest. So you're doing a passing game. Yeah, they were trailing most of the contest, but you gotta have a good running game. Like compare that to the Eagles. Saquon Barkley, who was stopped on offense, he still had 57 yards. Jalen Hurts had a touchdown, 72 yards rushing. So that's the what they call the double-double. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't consider Kansas City as good as the dynasty teams we're talking about. I did a podcast on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I did podcast previously on the Green Bay Packers. If you look at the rough numbers again, in the Super Bowl, the NFC East rarely loses. Now, we're going to talk about why the NFC East is so good in the Super Bowl, and why is it the AFC sometimes falls up short. Now, if you go back to the original years of the Super Bowl, obviously the Packers dominated early on. But when the divisional shift came in, give an example, Dallas Cowboys won Super Bowl 6. Between 1971 and 1973, it was 3 straight NFC East teams that made the Super Bowl. Minnesota was stopping that. When Minnesota kind of went away as a big thing, Dallas made it to Super Bowl in 10, 12, and 13. Now the Eagles made it in 1981. 49ers dominant, but then you had the Washington Redskins of the 1980s, where they won in 83 with again a strong regular season. Redskins lost the next year. So again, the New York Giants won in 1987 under Phil Simms. Redskins won in 88. San Francisco again dominant, but the Giants won again in 91. Redskins 92, the Cowboys in 93 and 94 and 96. They were kind of in the wilderness for a while. Giants made it to the Super Bowl in 2001, and then the Eagles made it in 2005. Giants won it in 2008 against New England. The former NFC East team, the Arizona Cardinals, made it to the finals in 43. The Giants won in 2012. And as it goes along, Eagles won in 2018. So it's very rare that an NFC East team loses. Kansas City, and don't forget, Philadelphia lost by just a field goal to Kansas City in the 2023 Super Bowl. There was a measure of revenge. I think that that's something that has to be taken into consideration. So the Chiefs, for most of the season, were winning by the skin of their teeth. They were probably the weakest 15-2 team of the modern era. because most of the victories again they weren't dominant. So how is the NFL fans going to consider this? The Bills fans are all excited this year. They're talking when the Super Bowl, Detroit Lions fans were saying, "Oh, Detroit is Canada's team," where everybody knows is either Cowboys or 49ers or even the Patriots as a stretch. But the idea Patrick Mahomes should have had a better running game to win. He doesn't have a balanced attack. Now he's been in the AFC title games for a number of years now, and the times he's lost to teams that either can control his running game or outran them with the ball. Now I don't think Kansas City is going to be fading away anytime soon. They got Andy Reid is a great coach, but like the Taylor Swift era of fans is gone. Anybody that watched the NFL this year knew that the NFC East was going to decide this year either the Commanders or the Eagles. If you look what the Eagles did in the playoffs, and we had a very good NFC side this year, it was he knocked off the LA Rams, a very tough team, 28-22 in what he called the league quarterfinal. But what he did to Washington dismantled them, like tore them apart, 55-23. You were getting a hint that this Philadelphia team was going to pick apart Kansas City. Now, the idea, Saquon Barkley came to the Eagles from the Giants. He basically was probably one of the best seasons ever for a running back, and that's how it goes. You got to have good defense and a good running game to win. Look at Emmitt Smith all those years. You look at the key teams in Washington and the Giants. They had a good running game. You look at Joe Morris and the old Giants teams. Yes, you have to have a good quarterback, but you got to play both sides of the ball. I'm not saying that Kansas City could have not won the game. Obviously, if you're there in the big contest, you could win. But he kind of played like an immature CFL team today. Like an Anthony Calvillo, like our great Montreal Alouettes quarterback, should have came in and said, "Listen, I can teach you how to beat the Eagles." I don't know why the Chiefs have so much of difficulty with an NFC East offense. Because, I mean, coming out of the NFC East, it used to be a weak sister a couple of years ago. It's getting strong again. That's smash mouth football. You're in there and you got to survive. Now, Eagles fans are not the greatest in the world, and I don't respect them at all as a Dallas fan. But I'm glad the NFC East won it because we've been a marquee division in NFL history throughout the years. Because other than San Francisco, the NFC West, we've been dominant. The NFC's been dominant for years. And like I said, we used to eat our own. And Roger Staubach said it best: if you can survive the NFC East, you got a good chance of winning the Super Bowl because you can't compete. So, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to the new champions, Philadelphia Eagles. Sweet revenge. I'm not going to celebrate too long because I hope my Dallas Cowboys will be better next year. But it good shows the pro will prove. No, somebody that knows nothing about football, they don't know football. People watch that just because it's Taylor. Majority of people, Taylor Swift's boyfriend's on the team. That don't win you the Super Bowl. Well, wins you the Super Bowl, you got to play like an NFC East team. Thanks for listening, and like I said, whether you like the Chiefs or not, they're going to be back, and who knows? As the stomach turns, as the old soap opera says. Have a good one. Bye.